What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of You Guessed It. You can't make this BS up. What's going on with my no bullshit crew? That's right, man. I missed you guys. As of tonight, y'all see me sipping on a little bit of Miller Lite. Nothing too heavy. Just wanted something light, something simple to celebrate the Labor Day weekend. Sorry that I haven't been dropping anything, man. It's just been crazy. I had a lot of changes going on in my professional side of my life. I finally got a job that I've been trying to get for a long time to enhance with me being able to show my cooking skills and knowledge of food. So I'm pretty ecstatic about that. And it's definitely a new thing for me and my family. Yeah, definitely. Thank you. Like I said, it's a new journey. It's a really hate that I have to leave my old job, but sometimes change is good, especially if you're trying to better yourself. You can also take the things that you learned from your original job and go from there. So the next time you see me, I'm probably gonna be super clean shaven. That means I won't be having no beard no more, probably no mustache, and I'm probably gonna be bald headed. So it'll be cool. Like I said, it's just a new way of transitioning into my new job because appearance is everything, and especially when you're working with the food and with the public, you want to give them the warm and fuzzy. Now, I do got some announcements to make. Please, guys, keep engaging on the polls that I will start putting on each episode about what you think about the case. The more we interact on Spotify, the more I can get more people engaged with the algorithm and everything. Please, if you like the show, give me 5 stars and drop a positive comment, okay? If you don't like the show, just drop me a comment. Don't even rate it. Just drop me a comment. All those helps the algorithm in a positive manner. Now, I want to give a shout out to my newest person that has joined the You Can't Make This BS Up family. When it comes to the YouTube side, these are the people that really riding with your boy, like the content, decide to join. So I'm gonna read out the most recent subscribers that I know of that has joined, and I want to give them their flowers while I'm here. First things first, it is Lalasha Hardesty. She recently joined. Thank you for joining. Also, too, I want to give a shout out to Kara Taston. Kara, thank you so much for taking the time out to join the channel. You did not have to do that, but you decided that you really liked our show, like the movement, and you wanted to participate, and we appreciate you from my family to yours. Also want to thank Raren L, Sheila McFarland, Laura C, Kimmy Trish, Jake Baum, Mike Yetman, and Lionel James, and Jim Bo JPC. Appreciate all you guys for joining. Y'all did not have to. If I missed your names, it's probably because your channel is not public. But thank you again for joining, man. That really makes me feel real good that somebody really like what we're producing over here on this side. All right, guys. So, also, too, one more thing before I start. If you want to donate, everything now is in the description. Every link, everything you want to donate, Cash App, Venmo, all that's in the description. So, let's roll into today's story, man. Woo! It's Black Friday. And, with Black Friday, I got to give y'all some black crime. And today's black crime is like a legend in the streets of Harlem. Okay? You can either love this guy or hate this guy. But the reason why I love this guy, because he's from my area, the Carolinas. And if you not noticed or not, the Carolinas have produced some of the most greatest gangsters that ever run in New York City and the Black African American territory. So we're going to talk about this man named Bumpy Johnson. Bumpy Johnson is not your average guy, okay? First and foremost, Bumpy was at the most of his height, 5'7". He was a little stocky, but this guy wreaked havoc whenever he put hands on you. And this not mentioned either is that people respected him because this guy was ruthless when you was on his bad side. And he commanded respect, not demanded, commanded. I mean, when he walked in the room, you know he was a real gangster. There was no if, and, or buts about it. So, with that being stated, we're going to jump into the story of Bumpy Johnson, who his real name is Ellsworth Raymond Bumpy Johnson. Now, this is crazy. Ellsworth Raymond Bumpy Johnson was born in Charleston, South Carolina on October the 31st, 1905, to Margaret Moultrie and William Johnson. Now, they said that his parents was very hardworking, and his mother was something like a maid, and she would go back and forth up to New York to make money cleaning up people's houses and being a housekeeper because they paid more back then. And then she would take that money, come back down south, and take care of the kids. Now, he did have two other siblings, an older sister and an older brother. But at the time we're talking about, it was still a very hard road to grow up in the early 1900s of South Carolina. Now, Charleston was the biggest city of South Carolina at that time, and you had Jim Crow laws, segregation, and yeah, they just didn't play. Okay. Back then, if you was a black person and you said something out the way to a white person, I said something out the way. We're not talking about just doing anything physical to them yet. We're talking about just say something out the way. You could find the KKK in your doorstep before nightfall. And you know how that goes. The lynching and things of that nature. Now, the reason why Bumpy was called his nickname, because when he was a small child, he had a large bump on the back of his head. And people and kids would tease him for it, you know. But let me tell you, that name was gonna mean something later on in the future. So as Willie, when at the time his brother Willie, who was basically named after his father, the oldest son, when he was 10, his older brother was accused of killing a white man. So the whole family is in fear. They're like, oh Lord, they might have a lynch mob. Hell nah. So his parents hurried up. They mortgaged their tiny home to raise money, and they went and sent Willie up north to live with his relatives. Now, at this time, what I was told and what in history shows that he already had a sister living up there named Mabel. So Mabel was already up there with their kinfolk. So that's what happened. He, big oldest brother went up there with little sister up there with their relatives and, did what they had to do. So as Bumpy got older, right, they started seeing that Bumpy was not the one to play with. Mr. AKA, he was from the start becoming fuck around and find out. He had a short temper, and he did not allow white people at all to talk to him crazy. He was quick to let them know, I am a person. You gonna talk to me as such. You can't, then there is gonna be a problem. Parents were starting to worry because they're like, whoa, 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 son, you is in the South. They will kill you. We done one son up there for talking reckless to one of these jokers and then killed him. Saying that he killed them. You come on now. You can't do this. But Bumpy was like, man, fuck all that. I'm not gonna let them talk to me all kind of way. So his mom and dad talked about it and said, you know what, Bumpy, it's either we let you stay here and continue to talk reckless to these white folks in the 1900s that are out here lynching people, or we take you a trip a ticket to go to up north, okay, and live with your sister Mabel. So that's what he did. He went and started living with his older sister Mabel. Now, while he was living up there with his older sister Mabel, his older sister basically told him the rules. Okay, Bumpy, this is what we want. This is what I need you to do. Bumpy, I need you to go to school. I need you to get good grades, make mom and them proud, and hopefully, since you up here in the north, you can start going to a college or something and be one of them fancy Negroes. Bumpy was like, hell to the nah. I don't think that gonna work. But I see what I could do. So while Bumpy was chilling, one of his cohorts that he'll be working with soon decided to try to challenge Bumpy, because Bumpy again was a short guy at this time. This man was probably about 5'5", maybe 5'4", and he was in high school, and he was going around with these guys that, taller, a little stronger, and they looking at him with his country accent was like, man, country, you ain't gonna do nothing, bro. Like, you know what? I tell you what, we can fight it out, because I know you ain't gonna do nothing, you little country bunkin. So, money was bet on him, and he was like, all right, I'll show you better than I can tell you. And he beat this tall motherfucker down. Now, impressed by his skills, one of these guys that, like I said, would later be one of his cohorts, I don't know who it is in the story, but it'll probably come around when we get to that part, was like, hey, man, I like how you handle yourself. You know what I'm saying? But you can't be, don't hurt my mans and all. You prove your point. But I tell you what, I want you part of the team, and I'm going to show you how to, navigate in these Harlem streets. At first, Bumpy was like, man, I don't know about all that, man. Y'all tried to jump me. Your boy tried to jump me. Y'all picking at me, call me country. I ain't got time for that. No, man. We need a person like you. You brute, you got brute force. You strong. That's that country Carolina strong. So they was like, yo, join us. And he said, okay, all right, I'll give it a try. So Bumpy started doing things like a little robbing here, a little robbing there, little scams here, little scams there. Just things that you ain't supposed to be doing while you out there in them streets. And while doing that, his sister at the time was thinking that Bumpy was going to school. And when she found out that Bumpy was not going to school and was working with the likes of Gangster William Hewitt and all these other cohorts that was hanging around Gangster William Hewitt, his sister was livid. She was like, wait a minute, this is not what mama told me that she needed you to do. I'd be damned I'm gonna have this in my home, like any older sister did. But then that's when he started giving his sister money, like, here, money for the bills, sis. It's like, okay, well, I tell you what, I turn a blind eye for what the hell you got going on, because you trying to help and pay your way and help us out here, but I still don't like it. So eventually, he dropped out of school, and the streets became his career. So soon, Johnson's name started ringing like bells at 5 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the streets like it's church Sunday, okay? Everybody was talking about how this young cat from the South, a.k.a. South Carolina, has came in and wreaked havoc. Nobody wasn't messing with him. He was protecting stores. He was not letting nobody bully him at all. And a lot of people respected this guy because they was like, he's got a brain and he got a chance of beating ass. He does not play. So Bumpy was just the guy that if somebody even felt like they got cheated in a dice game and they felt like that they was done wrong, the first person they went out to was Bumpy. Hey, Bumpy, man, so-and-so cheated me, man. Can you, they ain't want to even give me my money back or let me play my money back. Can you handle that? Bumpy handled it. If a shopkeeper was getting bullied, hey, he told him, listen, man, you got, for me to protect you, you got to break off some bread, give me some free items, some shit now, because I can't be, my services is not free. And then when somebody try to take over, they see Bumpy, they already got the memo. Shit, this short motherfucker can fight. So he was like the Jackie Chan, man, of the hood. Nobody was messing with this short dude. All right? And so y'all got to understand something. Bumpy had to evolve. He couldn't be just a bodyguard for the streets of Harlem forever. And so one day in the 1930s, Bumpy now is about 25 years of age, 24, 25. And all of a sudden, he runs into this gorgeous black woman who is very, very gorgeous. Hair so long and skin so beautiful. He knew that this woman could not be from the States, and she wasn't. Her name was Stephanie St. Clair. That's right. Stephanie St. Clair was more than just a pretty face. This lady was an absolute fucking gangster for her time. She was the first woman, not black woman, to run her own numbers in Harlem and also in New York. No one was messing with Stephanie St. Clair. Now, she was from the French island, Caribbean French island of French Guadeloupe, okay? Which is an island near the Caribbeans. But she spoke French when she first arrived. But by the time she got to the States, she learned the American English language, and she would use French in American when in between sentences when she felt like it. So basically, when she used French, that means she's about to fuck you up. When she used English, that means she's trying to make it clear to you that don't mess around and make her fuck you up. So anyway, Stephanie St. Clair saw Bumpy and was intrigued. She liked how this young guy, reports say she met him at 16, but most people say that she didn't meet him until roughly around about in sources that I'm getting that she didn't really run into him till about in the 1930s. So around about the 1930s is when she ran into Bumpy Johnson. And when she got with Bumpy Johnson, he was her bodyguard. That was his whole job. His job was to take care of this woman. Now, they said that Stephanie St. Clair was way older than Bumpy. You got to remember, Bumpy was born in 1905. She was born in 1897. So to put it frankly, she was 8 years older than Bumpy. And Bumpy, they said that her basically it's been rumored by a lot of people that her and Bumpy were involved romantically. They said that she really trusted Bumpy, put her faith in Bumpy, and respected Bumpy's mind because Bumpy was not only a businessman, but he knew how to keep people safe. That was his job. That was his gift. So during that time, while she's running numbers, Madam St. Clair also needed Bumpy because there was a problem going on. She had a rival that wanted their numbers, and it's a mob boss named Dutch Schultz. Now let's talk about this motherfucker. Dutch Schultz was an asshole, okay? He was a killing machine. This guy had no respect. As a mobster, he did not do no sitting. It was his way or the highway. And he wanted everything he could get in New York. He didn't want black people, Jewish people to have shit. His mindset was, I'm Italian, we want it all. And when he found out that there was a woman running numbers in Harlem, he made it his mission in life. He wanted that racket. And buddy, let me tell you, he really did everything he could to get in that racket. As far as, you know what they say, everybody that skin folk ain't kinfolk, well, that's what he was doing. He was recruiting black people to work with him to go against their own kind. Hey man, listen, this is me. This is Dutch Schultz, baby. You know what I'm saying? Little Italian. I look out for you. You look out for me. You get rid of her. You work with me. I cut you a deal. I look out for you. I'm not that tough like that. Stuff like that. And people fell for it because, everybody in their mind at that time thought that because he being a Italian mobster, that he'd probably eventually go out and win. Now, during this war, we talking about 40 people was murdered, several kidnappings, and at the end of the day, St. Clair's wound up getting arrested and imprisonment. Now, while she's in prison, okay, this is when Bumpy decided that he's got to make it make sense because there is too much things going on with all this war going on that we got to keep ourselves in the fight with them. So what he did at the time, Bumpy struck a deal. Bumpy was like, yo, man. And after St. Clair got arrested at the war and Schultz got murdered, he said, listen, he talked to Luciano. Lucky Luciano said, look, man, Stephanie is no longer running them numbers. Okay. She's in jail. Schultz is dead. I've been true to my word. I've been handling business. The people trust me. Let me run this. Let me run my own organization. Now, let me tell you, this wasn't nothing easy. Because at the time, Luciano was like, man, you fucking lying. This is my shit. Don't you understand? I run all of New York except for Harlem right now, and I'm about to run it. I don't give a damn that you a black man know how to run that shit. That ain't my, no. I want them numbers. I want all the money. And that's when Bumpy made it very clear to him, like, look, man, you can have all of New York. That's your thing. I would never step on that. But Harlem is us. It's black folks on. It's our renaissance. It's ours. Just like your neighborhoods in Brooklyn and Manhattan is y'all's. That's the same it is with us. That's our shit. Now, I tell you this, if you let me run it like I'm supposed to and be a partner with you, we can get money together. But you're just not going to come up here and say you going to run the whole show, bud. That's not how that going to work. So after they hashed it out, Luciano was like, all right, man, we'll do it. So they agreed with the points. Things started going smoothly. Now, when there was any issues or anybody was out of line in Bumpy Johnson's camp, he made it very clear. You come to me. You don't come to no one else. You come to me. And that's what Luciano and the gang did. Until finally, after 1952, Bumpy Johnson got arrested. Now, he was sentenced to 15 years in prison for drug conspiracy and conviction related to the heroin that they claim he was selling. Now, Bumpy always said that he was not a heroin dealer, that he was set up. He always said, listen, man, I did not do this. This is not what I did. Y'all tripping. And so everybody else was like, yo, that's not what I'm hearing. So after that happened, he had to go serve time in Leavenworth. Now, while he's serving time in Leavenworth, guess who shows up? You guessed it, Lucky Luciano. So Lucky Luciano is up there, and Lucky is like, you know, cordial with Bumpy at the time while they in prison together. But the problem is that one time, Lucky got in a situation in prison, okay? Somebody tried to kill Lucky Luciano, and Bumpy was there to stop it. In fact, Bumpy saved his life. And when Bumpy saved his life, it basically really cemented his, I would say, damn near his honorary interest to being in the mafia. And by the way, let me rephrase the prison he went. It wasn't Leavenworth, guys. I'm sorry, that was Alcatraz. So he went to the Alcatraz prison. Now, if you don't know about Alcatraz, that is the prison that they made that had water all around in California for federal inmates. And not to mention, too, they said nobody could ever escape this prison. Like, it was impossible. But yet, 4 men did escape. And as we know of to this day, they all lived through to get where they needed to get to. Now, again, like I said, we were told that nobody could never escape this prison. So anyway, with him going to prison, you got the government all in a victory because they think that now they could actually go in and maybe dismantle what's going on in the criminal underworld of Harlem, since they got one of the major players out the way. But hey, that's just how he carried himself. Now, while he was in prison, people respected him, and nobody messed with this dude because everybody knew his reputation. Now, you know, to be in Alcatraz, you are around some of the most dangerous, foul people there are. We're talking about people that kill children, kill women. I mean, you doing whatever you can imagine in today's time, they had it back then too. And to be feared and respected before you even get in the damn jail good, that should tell you how his name was ringing in these streets. People really knew he was about that life. And so, anyway, there was one incident where somebody tried to be funny with Bumpy and try to say that, hey, Bumpy, I heard that, Harlem washed up, baby, since you gone anyway. And that you washed up and then Harlem moving on without you. And that's when they said Bumpy grabbed old boy by his shirt and told him, I'm going to let you know right here and right now, Harlem don't move without me. And you remember that. Now, when he was released in 1963, he stepped back into Harlem yeah, he was welcome like he was a king from exile. I mean, people came in, they even threw into, if you look in the history records, this guy was so notorious and so loved by Harlem, even as a gangster, that they threw this man a parade, a long parade for coming home from jail. Hey man, I'm telling you, he was the answer, he was the actual example of a thug. After all that happened, he realized that, Harlem has changed. They had civil rights protests now. You got the Nation of Islam. There's a young brother in the rising called Malcolm X. He had that power, that voice of power. And he also found out that there was a drug that has crept into American homes that was spreading like a plague, and that was heroin. You know what I'm saying? So heroin, aka I call it heroin. But Bumpy Johnson had other things he had to look at. He had to be able to see if he could still be a protector while he's in the middle of this drug war or where people want to sell drugs. It's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. So 1963, like I said, he done been a decade behind bars. Ellsworth Bumpy Johnson walked out of prison from a prison that most would be broken, but he did not. He was now sharper, tougher, and now he's more respected. And when people heard that he was back, like I said, people shouted his name and still called him the Godfather. And then he went back to his spot that he's normally been known to be for years, 145th Avenue. Still got them same suits, still walking the same, still got that reputation. And like I said before, as he's trying to set up shop, he gets told that, hey man, I know you're trying to set up shop and all, but you ain't gonna be able to just set up shop like this. What do you mean I ain't gonna be able to set up shop like this? There's a new crime syndicate that has taken over the mob. And Lucky Luciano is no longer in the States. He is gone. Then he found out they was trying to indict his ass. He went back to Italy. He chilling. So he got these other cats running the show. So Bumpy like, all right, so okay, cool. Well, I know I'm gonna open up my spot whenever I decide to get things straightened out. Well, they knew that Bumpy was gonna do that. So they give Bumpy a call. They say, hey Bumpy, man, I need you to meet with us, the families. We need to talk about this. Paul Castellano, all them. We need to talk, bro. It's been a long time. We heard you home. We wanna help you out. So Bumpy got his men. He always have his same same dedicated 4 bodyguards that always with him. He go to a hotel and talk to the mobsters. Yeah. Paul Castellano, all them, they're there. And so they're like, yeah, Bumpy, we know you're home, man. We happy to see you home. The whole shenanigan of bullshit. They're like, but listen, man, what you gonna do? What you got planned? Bumpy like, yeah, I'm gonna open up my spot, get back to running numbers and get back to, running the game like I used to, the numbers game. So they was like, numbers game? They were laughing a little bit. Yeah, but man, there's a whole nother side that's going on right now. Bumpy, they got the drug, the heroin and stuff and things of that nature. Okay, that's fine and all, but I don't want that. I'm not focused on that. What I'm focusing on right now is the numbers game, the lottery racket that everybody loves to do. And that's what I want to do. So that's what he said at the time. Now, they were like, all right, Bumpy, we can't let you do that. Now, we'll let you get half of this, half of that, but we run Harlem now. Bumpy said, wait a minute, I had a deal with your friend, Lucky. All right, Lucky told me as long as I got breath in my body, that Harlem will always belong to me and that I run Harlem. And we are partners. Ain't no fucking you over me. We are equals. So the Italians like, listen, man, this is how we gonna run it. This is what's gonna happen. You can either get down or lay down. So Bumpy said, I tell you what, do me a favor and talk to Lucky Luciano and let him tell you about what I have done for him lately. During the time I was away for 15 years. So They was like, okay, we'll go and we'll holler up to him. And so they call up Lucky Luciano. And Lucky was like, yeah, my boy back? Okay, yeah, good people. Uh-huh. So what's up? What's the problem? What he trying to do? What he trying to say? Oh, he trying to start up his own numbers? Hey, I'm with that. Okay, so what the problem? Y'all ain't giving him his numbers? Y'all did what? Y'all said this man can't do what? You gonna do what? Oh, hell nah. You gonna honor that deal that I started with this man. He's gonna have his own spot. And by the way, you better get him some wheels so he can get around and do what he need to do. This is a value asset to the Canostra Affiliation Association program. Just because he's a freaking black man doesn't mean you got to treat him like shit. Now, I'm quite sure he said the N-word, but either way it goes, or Negro, but still, yeah, he was like, nah, you gonna take care of old boy. He took care of me. You gonna return the favor. So Bubba gets another call. And he was like, hey man, listen, man, we started all on the wrong foot. We didn't know you took care of our boy, Lucy, Lucky like that, man. We got you a brand new Cadillac, man. We got you the keys to whatever. Man, hey, man, how many spots you want to open up in Harlem? You want to do it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what? The whole damn city? Man, we with it. We with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, that's yours. Hey, whatever problem we got, we coming to you. Hey, that's all you, bro. So that's what Johnson did. And when Johnson opened up the numbers, he started seeing that the numbers was not making that kind of money that he needed. So yeah, he started dabbling with the narcotic, aka heroin. And by that time, he done had been arrested more than 40 times and served even 2 more prison terms for narcotic related charges. And in December 1965, Johnson, was one of the first black gangsters to ever do this, staged a sit down to strike in the police station by refusing to leave as a protest against continued police surveillance of black neighborhoods. And he was charged refusing to leave a police station, but he was acquitted by the judge because they were like, all right, yeah, you're right. We doing too much. We need to stop. Like I said, Bumpy was like a Robin Hood. Okay. 1 minute, yeah, he was selling and doing all these awful things to people and things of that nature and getting people money from people and handling people when it comes to crossing him. But at the end of the day, he also wanted to help people, be a philanthropist and help everybody else. So he was just a combination of this and that in the positive and negative sector. But y'all know how it goes. Sooner or later, all things come to an end because everybody can't be a gangster and live forever. So that means Bumpy Johnson, who was now facing another federal indictment for drug conspiracy, on July the 7th, 1968, sitting down, eating at his favorite Italian restaurant of pasta and spaghetti for dinner, telling his driver that as soon as he finished, to take him back to the house so he can spend time with his beautiful wife, Mamie. And all of a sudden, he didn't have a chance to finish that up because at the Wells restaurant, at that continued restaurant that he was eating at, he died of a heart attack. He was 62 years old. And then after he died, I guess a lot of people say that Miss Sinclair must have had what they call a lot of people say maybe a broken heart, or even she was just filled with, she just felt like it was time to give it up. But either way it goes, she died right after that, 15 months later in 1969. I want to say, 1969 at the age of 70. It's crazy, man. It really is. It's crazy, crazy, crazy that happened to her as well. And let me rephrase that. He died at the Wells restaurant. It was 2:00 in the morning, a little bit before 2. And it was the waitress had served him coffee, a chicken leg, and hominy grits. And if you don't know what hominy grits is, it's basically grits from the South. A porridge that we eat in the United States. It's just grits. That's all it is. That's all it is. So, All right. So let me tell you my take about Bumpy Johnson. Bumpy Johnson has been a folklore of the black culture when it comes to American gangsters. I mean, he's been celebrated since the 1970s. Like in Shaft, he was celebrated with a different name, portrayed by Moses Gunn, named Bumpy Jonas. Then in 1972, back Charleston Blue was there was a character based upon him there. And then 1979, it was I think Clint Eastwood played Escape from Alcatraz. You had Paul Benjamin, and shout out to Paul Benjamin, another South Carolina native, one of the hardest damn dudes that I know of out of South Carolina, and a great actor. He played Bumpy Johnson. Man, then you had the Cotton Club. Lawrence Fishburne also played Bumpy Johnson, but they call him Bumpy Rhodes. Hoodlum also played by Lawrence Fishburne. And then Rick James on Life also played a gangster called Spanky Johnson. So he's always been celebrated. Bumpy Johnson has always been celebrated as one of the most intriguing characters there are. Even in Mafia 3, Ellsworth Johnson. That's who Lincoln Ellsworth becomes in the movie Mafia 3. So my thoughts is this. I've always appreciated Bumpy Johnson because I always thought that Bumpy Johnson was one of the coolest people that you could ever deal with, because he was that guy that didn't mind standing up to people. He didn't care how big you was, how small you was. He was just a tough son of a gun. And that's what you needed back then. They don't make people like that right now. And he didn't mind, telling people, hey, I'm a gangster, but at the end of the day, I'm a human being. And we don't have that anymore. We got a lot of our young YNs that's running around here. They don't know how to be a gentleman and a gangster. They now want to be a gangster 25 times, 200 plus, 200% plus. They want to be a gangster all the time. They don't know how to tone it down. And those guys back then, they knew how to tone it down. In fact, if you do research on these gangsters back in the 1900s, in the early 1900s especially, all the way up to the 1960s, there was gangsters, fathers, the older gangsters, the OGs. They would bring the young guys that's training to be a gangster like them in and show them how to eat, show them what type of dress, what type of suits to wear, what type of when you wear those suits, what type of tux to wear, how to conduct yourself, and how to talk, and even taught them how to eat, how to speak different languages. Lucky Luciano, he gave all of his guys a class on how to eat properly when you're around guests. That's how serious these guys took their position. They were more than just gangsters. They were very charming, very engaged, and very straight to the point. And that's why I got respect for them. So again, shout out to Bumpy Johnson, man. May he rest in peace. If you guys got anything else that you want to suggest for me to do, or you even want to tell me your thoughts about Bumpy Johnson, man, do me a favor. Hit that like button. Also subscribe. Also share this content. And please drop comments and tell me what you think about this episode.